I am going to guide you through 3 specific insights that I have experienced myself and been able to repeat in my clients so that you can do this too. If you were in the first week or 2 navigating your awareness that you are in the simulation. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Anthony Cortino, Sacred Cobra. For 25 years, I have been a professional healer. The last 6 years specifically, I have been blessed to witness creators going through divorces, through breakups, through relationship crises, perform actual miracles in their lives, changing everything using practical, repeatable skills in their businesses, in their lives, and in their relationships. So let's get into it. Today, I have 3 insights freshly from specifically meditating daily, 30 minutes to an hour on being in awareness that I'm in a simulation. Now, the benefit I have had is that I'm also a coach. We are doing the same practices in my Monday masterclass, and we are seeing the same results, all navigating through this process together and sharing in the feedback. And that's why I'm coming on here in the public channel, sharing with you so that you can get the insights right here, right now, and start shifting to your preferred reality as soon as right now, before this video is over, you're going to shift. The power is yours. You just have to recognize it and claim it. So that's why we're here today. The first insight that we really want to go over right now is the awareness. So for the last 2 weeks, doing this meditation, 10 minutes at a time, 10 to 30 minutes, up to an hour, multiple times a day, finding and making sure that I do it regardless of how busy I am in the business and in my personal life. I have made this a priority above all else to remember to have the present awareness that I am in a simulation and I am actually controlling it with my reactions, with my responses to things, with my awareness, my consciousness, with my I amness. In this process, as I've gone into conversations with clients and personal friends, I'm noticing things, noticing why am I even sharing this with them? What am I wanting out of this interaction? And I'm aware of this, whether I have something to share positive or negative. So regardless of that judgment, I am more aware. What am I wanting out of this conversation that I'm getting ready to have with somebody? Because I know they are a reflection of myself. And so that really shows up in how I respond to them and how they respond to me. So my awareness is increasing dramatically moment by moment, especially in my interactions with people. So if you were in a relationship, going through a divorce, going through a breakup, you're in a new relationship, trying to fall in love again and find love again, understanding that the pattern is part of the matrix and you're creating your own reality and that everything is being reflected from your internal thoughts and internal dialogue is very beneficial. Now, if this sounds crazy and you're not able to see results, then it's not going to make sense. But that's why I'm giving you these insights, because this makes it easy. 1, 2, 3, boom. You're in the simulation and you're going to want to stay in the simulation. So number 1 is notice. I noticed my awareness shifting, my noticing things were slowing down. Huge gaps of time seem to either speed up or slow down based on my mood. I'm noticing if I was rushing through my day, hustling or feeling anxious, time would fly very quickly. And I was really aware of this versus when I'm in calm and peace in my empowered silence. Time just didn't seem to exist. And I was able to crush so much work. I wrote an entire course in the last 2 weeks specifically on self-love and self-worth and mixing in only one esoteric principle of the mirror principle. That way I can help people at a beginner's level understand self-love and self-worth and then progress on to more spiritual concepts if they choose to. But regardless, the outcome of loving themselves more than ever before, regardless of whatever's happened to them in their life, I have that course. That'll happen in the last 2 weeks as I've been navigating and having a high awareness that I'm in the simulation. So I've been very aware. So notice your awareness, notice things around you. That's number 1. Number 2 is the reflection, noticing the reflection, seeing the reflection, being aware of the reflection. If I'm opening my mouth in agitation or anxiety or fear or concern, whether you're a client, whether you're a personal relationship, or whether you're a business partner. I'm more aware this last 2 weeks, especially, of the thought being reflected in them. Meaning if I have any anxiety, I'm seeing it reflected in the world. I'm walking the dog and the dogs are barking at me on the same road I walk the dog on every single day. Why? Because I was so triggered. I wanted to go on a walk to get out. Well, I'm still me. So I couldn't get away from it by going outside. I was carrying my reality with me, and the universe, the simulation, was responding to that aggression, that fear, that anxiety that was trying to stomp it out while walking the dog. Right? So I come back home, meditate by myself, force myself to sit in that silence and deal with my own stuff. Boom, walk the dog. Half an hour later, everything's rosy. Nice breeze through the air. It was almost like gonna rain, but it hadn't rained yet. So beautiful experience when we realize the simulation. You're gonna notice things that you've been ignoring, and you're going to start ignoring things that you used to pay way too much attention. So that's number 2. Reflect with your awareness on how you and how the world, especially your relationships, if you're in conflict, notice how those relationships and the world responds to your awareness and noticing that you might just be in a simulation. Oh, all of a sudden this conversation is popping up that really doesn't make any sense normally unless I was in a simulation. I think at the point right there. So that's number 2. Number 3, because I notice and you're noticing these things in the first 2 weeks when you're choosing to consciously say to yourself, and no, I am aware that I am in a simulation. What am I going to do about it? You have that awareness. You have the reflection, knowing, making that connection to what's happening outside of you and what's happening inside of you. That is number 3. You now have confirmation. You now have your own self-driven proof of you in a matrix, you in the simulation, you walking hand in hand with Christ, Buddha, with God inside you, walking one with God. You are reality pushed out. Everyone is God and you pushed out. That's the I amness of it all. Whatever you've gone through, financial hardship, relationship hardship, you've been devastated for 20, 30 years. As one of my clients told his wife as we've saved the marriage, he said to her, honey, I love you and I hear you. I just want you to be aware if you're open to this. And she says, yes, I'm ready. And he says to her, we are only one choice away from pure bliss and happiness. That's it. Don't get upset and don't quit just because you have to keep choosing. Okay? If it works, then keep doing it. So stop resisting. So just to recap, we got awareness is number 1 thing that happens when you start meditating, turning within, and meditating on the simulation. Number 2, making this connection to the outside reality and your internal world, reflecting. You want to bring the sacred and the mundane together when you notice these things. If you don't do that, then you're going to attach it to some other external meaning, some other label that keeps it mundane and it explains it away. We want to really understand this is faith in action. That's what changes your life. That's what performs miracles that bring back relationships when they should have been over already. That's what changes it all, is having true faith in action and persisting in your own self-work because you love yourself, because you have self-worth, regardless of what you're experiencing. If you want more of it, keep looking at it. If you want less of it, turn in and change the story. And then 3 is the confirmation to, it's like going to the gym and losing your first 10 pounds or having that first moment when you can see the change in your body. And all of a sudden it's easier to go. That's all we're trying to do. I'm not trying to make you go from 0 to 200 miles an hour. I'm trying to help you see and notice this so that you can lead yourself out of the simulation. And if you enjoyed this video, check out this one where I actually go through the simulation, the meditation myself that I've actually been listening to. And if it's working for me and working for my clients, I know it'll work for you. Until next time, this is Anthony Cortino, Sacred Cobra. You are sacred. You are worthy. You are love. We'll see you next time. Cheers.